I mean, we thought this market was actually a bit oversold. I mean, we think the fundamentals are better than where the price was earlier this month. But we think this rally is largely technical driven. And so the key thing we think we need to watch is, well, look at the rig count. We saw it come down for the first time in 24 weeks last week. Do we see that as a start of a trend? Also looking at inventory data, I mean, are we going to have the big draws in the back of the summer? If we don't, we do think that's particularly bearish. So those are the two things we're watching on the fundamentals. And then the upside is, do we get some geopolitical story that pushes us higher?
All right, Stephen, what about you? I mean, do you see, the risks to the upside here or to the downside?
No, I think at this point, the risk is certainly to the upside. We've had a nice run lower, about $9 a barrel during the bear run. Now, we are in, and I do agree this is a technical rebound. Now, why did we have this sharp sell-off? Well, a lot of it was we had prices going down into the summer when demand for crude oil has never been stronger. We have production at a 2-year high, and a market that is very well hedged, and we've had a 140% increase in rigs. Now, when we look at OPEC to this point, we all know that the curtain has been pulled back on OPEC's ability, or inability, I should say, to talk this market higher. So we all know that, which means if we all know that, all of these bearish headlines have been priced into the market. Can we go lower? Absolutely. There's key technical support between the 2016 low, 2017 high, which would bring a support range in between $41 and $37 a barrel. I do think there is a potential to go down there, but we're already very low. So given that all these bearish headlines have been priced into the market, if you're going to have any sort of risk of a large outside move, I think it would be to the upside at this point.
Let's just underline before you ask your question, Bob. Dow Transport's just hit a new high as we were speaking about this, undoubtedly helped by the decline in the price of oil.
Yep, there's a confirmation. Steve, let me just follow up on that question, because I think there's a very interesting question here about when oil stocks become a buy. We had Harold Hamm on last week. He was talking about the idea that below $50, production cuts are going to have to come in somewhere along the way. But to me, that means with oil stocks, some of them down 30% this year, some of them at 52-week lows last week, that if we get oil at $50, oil stocks are certainly going to be a buy. And we've been talking about what happened in the second half of this year. Do you see that possibility happening, oil over 50, and how would you rate oil stocks at that point?
I think oil stocks are certainly a venue that you want to start paying attention to. What we do know is when we look at the Brent market, which is certainly indicative of the global market and therefore greater sensitivity to what OPEC is doing and what the global economy is doing, we do know that over the past 2 years that the producer has been heavily hedging with spot oil prices on the ICE between $47 and $54 a barrel. So once we get into that range, we know the producer is making money because this is where they're willing to hedge. Conversely, with oil prices this low, your margins on the downstream, your refiners are making tremendous margins. In some of these markets, they're making 30-35% margins with the amount of oil they're pulling out of the refinery, that is the refined crude oil, and the cheap crude oil going in. So certainly what we do know is the producers telling us they can make money between $47 and $54 a barrel, and the refiner, given the margins with the current low price regime of oil, is also making money. So this is certainly an area that is to say the oil stocks, given the current price levels and given the current upside potential risk of, I think this is where you want to start looking into oil stocks.
Hey there, thanks for checking out CNBC on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe to stay up to date on all of the day's biggest stories. You can also click on any of the videos around me to watch the latest from CNBC. Thanks for watching.